Alright, today I'm going to show you how to use a spectrophotometer 20. So first, to turn it on, you press this black power button over here on the side. And once you press it, it'll start calibrating the spectrophotometer. Next comes up a menu with standard methods, favorites, methods, and utilities. You press 1 to pick standard methods to get the absorbance readings. Next, it comes with another menu with numbers 1 through 7. And the only numbers you should really use are number 1 and number 3. Number 1 is single wavelength if you just want to look at the single wavelength, and number 3 is a spectrum of all wavelengths of a range. And so usually you'll pick number 3 for spectrum, so you press that on the number pad. Then it gives you another menu that says start wavelength, end wavelength, and mode. For now, I'm going to keep the mode at absorbance because that's what I'm going to be measuring. There's also percent transmission if that's what you want to measure. And then the wavelengths is according to whatever solution you are going to use. Today I'm going to use 375 nanometers to 650 nanometers. After you have chosen these values, you press the play button on the control panel to hit OK. So now it gives you a graph with wavelength at the bottom on the x-axis and then absorbance at the y-axis. And so for one test solution, I'm going to show you how to get the absorbance. So first you take the cuvettes out of the cabinet up above the spectrophotometer, and take one cuvette, and then you have to have a blank solution. So the blank solution should be usually water, and you take the blank solution and then you put it into the cuvette, and you have to fill it close to the fill line so that it gets a good reading. So there's a line right underneath, around the top, and that's where the fill line is, so you shouldn't fill above that. And then once you have it filled up with the blank solution, you put it in according to the arrows. There's an arrow on the cuvette that points down, and it should match up with the arrows on the spectrophotometer. Once you put it into the spectrophotometer, since this is the blank solution, you press this blue button that is for the blank solution, and it zeroes out the spectrophotometer to that blank solution. And there should be a line at 0 showing that that's the blank solution. Then you take out the blank solution and you take another cuvette from the holder, and you place your test solution. Right now I'm using a green dye. And you place the test solution into the cuvette up to the fill line again. And then you do the same thing. And also, just to make sure that it's clean and it gets a good reading, you can use Kim wipes, and then you just use the Kim wipes to wipe the sides of the cuvette just so it made sure that it's clean. And you put the solution back into the spectrophotometer, and since this is the test solution, you want to press play to get the actual absorbance reading. So once you press play, it'll start taking the absorbance reading, and you can see from the graph that there's different wavelengths where it's changing, and that's how you get your absorbance reading. And there's also a function where you can print your results. Right now there's no printing paper in the spectrophotometer, so you can't print anything out. But if you wanted to, you can print it by pressing the middle pad on this arrow keypad, and it gives you another screen, and this number 2 on the screen is print. So if you press number 2, it will print it out for you, and right now there's no printing paper, so it won't print. And then once it prints, it will come out here as a receipt, and then you can just rip out the receipt from the top of it. And that's how you use a spectrophotometer.